Do you realize that caring too much about someone else makes you a victim? Do you realize that? That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about caring and caring about an end result, because I believe they're very, very, very different things. And so I want to welcome you to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. I'm here each and every day at this time to explore concepts. Yesterday, I was listening to an old program by Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn said, the key to your life is, what is your philosophy? What is your philosophy? And most people don't have a philosophy for living. And so today, what's really popped up for me is this idea of caring. And I want to make a distinction. There's caring, which is supporting, and there's caring, which means I'm invested in an end result. So the best way I can say this is that if my wife were ill or someone were ill, I could be there and support them, provide them transportation, provide them guidance, cook them food, help in that way. But for me to care about whether they heal or not, their end result, I become a victim. Why? Because I have no control over it. Absolutely no control over it. So I'm setting myself by building an unrealistic expectation about a potential outcome that I have no control over. But you see, I do have control over being caring, how I serve and support someone. I have control over that. But that type of control is not invested in an end result. And I think that's really, really, really a critical thing to bring up here. And good morning, Daisy Joe and Ian, Maggie, Richard and Annette and Wendy. Thank you for checking in. Anyone else out there, please check in and give me your comments. My thought today was care versus caring. Care versus caring. I also put out a second note today. I put out a note and I said, if a person needs support, oh my God. So I'm sorry, all of you people are important, but right now I just saw that Robert, my son's out there, and Claire's watching. So I just love that. So I say, good morning, Claire Bear. Haven't seen you in a while. Can't wait to see that beautiful smile. But here's the key thing. Well, I'll use Claire as an example. I care about Claire as much as I care about any human being on the planet. And I will lovingly support her. I will nurture her. I will give guidance if she asks for it and wants it. But what her life turns out to be, it's her choice. It's her choice. And then my second thought that I posted today was that if you need support, you have to ask, because no one out there can read your mind. So if you're not asking for support and you're thinking you need to get support, you're setting an unrealistic expectation for yourself to receive, and you're setting an unrealistic expectation of other people in your life, and none of that is going to turn out good. None of that is going to turn out good. Here's what I know about Claire. Claire, when I go visit her in the end of December, right after Christmas, she'll probably come to me and say, Baba, it's tickle time. Guess what? She asked. Guess who gets supported? Better yet, guess who will get tickled? Claire. Because we forget that we've got to teach ourselves and teach people to ask. And the hardest thing to ever ask is for ourselves. We don't ask for ourselves because, for whatever crazy reason, we don't feel we're worthy of asking. We don't think we're worthy of someone supporting us. Isn't that a shame? I guarantee that if you have friends in your life and you ask them for support, they will give it. If they don't give it, I would ask the question, are they your friends? It was fascinating. I put this question out on Facebook the other day, and I got zero response. Zero. And the question was, look at your friends, and is it a two-way relationship? Do you call them and initiate, or do they call you and initiate? Is it one-sided or is it two-way? If it's two-way, it's a meaningful relationship. If it's one-sided, the person who's not making the initiative, they don't value it. That's a really big one, isn't it? And I am in a position in my life where I want relationships that are reciprocal, because the other relationships really don't benefit me in any way, shape, or form. Because obviously, if the other person wanted me in their life, they would make an effort. Ian says, I have that issue with my father. Ian, is it that you're calling your father all the time and he's never calling you? What I would do with my father, if that was the case, and I did that with my father while he was alive, was I said, Dad, if you need something, you have to call. I can't read your mind. If you don't call, I don't feel I have any obligation here. And God bless it, he finally started to call. Sometimes he called too much. And you say, why would you say that, Lee? Well, my dad had dementia. And so he would forget things that we talked about. And so I just had to understand that. Ian says, I'm trying to create a relationship with him, but he doesn't want to put effort into it. Ian, that's because he doesn't value having a relationship at this moment. Because if he valued having a relationship, he would put some commitment into it. JJ says, I have asked for support on the odd occasion and my friends supported me. They are very valued and I would support them if they asked. Yeah. True friends will support you. Wendy says, I don't feel safe being close to my family. Well, safety can be a couple things. Number one, it could be that they're just abusive. Or number two, you've built up an image within your own mind that they're not safe. So there's a couple ways of looking at this idea of being safe. And I'm not diminishing that in any way, shape, or form, because sometimes there are people where it's not safe with. There was a time in my wife's life where it was not safe to be with her mother. But then over time, Jean changed her view and she could be with her mother and feel safe. You see, what really happened is nothing changed but Jean's perspective of her mother. Because your perspective gives or doesn't give power to another person. Moniqua says, I'm always told to check on my family, but nobody ever checks on me. Have you asked them? Have you gone to your family and said, it would be nice if you would call me every once in a while? Maybe they don't know any better. Maybe it's time for you to be the light. Maybe it's time for you to be the teacher. Wendy, they were abusive to you in the past? Yeah. But yet the past is no longer here. You're a different Wendy because I know you. You don't have to ever give your power away to anyone in your family ever again. Because here's what it is. Your power rests in you. It rests in everybody. Your power rests in everybody. I truly believe that the key to a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is that we've never learned to clearly communicate. And the clear communication, I teach this all the time in every class I do in that. The key agreement you have in every relationship is that we have an agreement that we ask for what we want when we want it. If that agreement is reached and your partner comes to you and says, well, I want that, I'll ask, did you ask? Well, no. Then I'm sorry, it's not my responsibility. I do that all the time with people in my life. Did you ask? Then why are you throwing that monkey on my back? Now, when they ask, it doesn't mean you always have to say yes either. But you keep the communication line open. Dion says, I asked for help after yesterday's talk. Good for you. Because you're a mother. You got a baby. You need support. And you see, I don't even like the word help, Dion, because help means you're powerless. And you know what, Dion? I don't know you, but I've read your energy and you're not powerless. You're a powerful person. But there are times, even as a most powerful person, we could use support from others. That's why we're on this journey together. We're supporting each other. It's like we're walking in the Himalayas and we've got our walking sticks. We could walk without the walking sticks, but the walking sticks make it so much easier. We have better balance. It's a support. There's a feeling of trust. Oh, it's interesting. Wendy says, with dementia, she can no longer ask. So now it's up to me. It's up to you because you've chosen to accept that responsibility. It's also delegate the responsibility. Hire people to help do some of the work so that you're not burdened by it. Because there's a lot of times people want us to do things that we're not really capable of. It's not in our DNA to do that. And I'm a full believer in doing that. When my father got to the point where he needed care all the time, we hired someone. We put him in a place where he had that care. We were blessed. We had the money to do that. He had the money to do that. Because when I sold his home, I put it into a fund and I said, this money is going to go to support him. Covered some really good stuff today, didn't we, guys? Covered some really good stuff. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be with me today and to explore these ideas and to be open. I would invite you that if you got anything out of this, share it. Let other people find out about what it's like to be 100% responsible for your life, because that's what we are, 100% responsible for our life, because only we can make decisions that control our lives and make it better. So what I want to say to you is make some great decisions today. And know, I can be caring towards you, but you have to care about your end result, because that's your responsibility. I love you. I accept you. Have a great day, everyone. Aloha.